Hey everyone, Reptar here. We're about a week away until the start of the MPL Philippines Season 9 playoffs, so I decided to make a small series about the 6 teams fighting for the right to be called the champion of MPL Philippines Season 9. Welcome to part 1 of 3 of the MPL PH Playoffs Scouting Report. The first match of the playoffs will see 3rd seed Echo face off against 6th seed Smart Omega. Echo look to prove that the hype and momentum they built in the first half of the season is more than just hype and that they can and will live up to their title of being this season's super team. For Smart Omega, the goal is clear: make it to the grand final so that they can defend their MSC 2021 championship and maybe even capture the long elusive MPL PH title on the way there. Yes, MSC 2021 was won by Execration, but remember, most or if not all of the Execration squad that won that MSC championship is here with Smart Omega. However, the road for Barangay Omega will be a difficult one, as Echo will be a tough first test. In the regular season series, Echo swept Omega in the first and second series where they faced off in the third day of weeks 1 and 5. Echo also added a lot of salt to the wounds they inflicted onto Omega, as their second loss to Echo ended their 5-game streak of securing at least 1 point in a series since week 3 day 1. But wait, there's more. The second shortest game of the season was delivered by Echo to Omega in week 1 day 3, with their second game in that series running for only 10 minutes and 12 seconds. And just to add the cherry on top of the sundae, Carl TZ got his 3rd career Savage with his signature Lancelot and the 2nd Savage of Season 9 in Game 2 of their Week 5 Day 3 series. Now, with all of that taken into consideration, Omega really do look like the underdogs going into this series. But think about this. Echo's last 2 series wins of the season came from Omega in Week 5 and Blacklist International in Week 6. Echo didn't win a single one of their final 3 series in Week 7 and Week 8, only being able to get 1 point away from Onyx PH, hence why Echo didn't make it into the top 2. On the other hand, Omega, after losing to Echo in Week 5, were able to achieve the following: get a point from eventual regular season league leaders RSGPH, get a point from Onyx PH, defeat 4th place Next Play EVOS 2-0, and eliminate Bren Esports and defending champions Blacklist International in Week 8 to secure their playoff slot. Omega are on a bit of a hot streak. Let's see if that fizzled out a bit, since there was a 2-week gap between the end of the regular season and the playoffs for Season 9. Also, another thing to point out is that a lot of the teams see Omega as the poison, or in Tagalog we call it lason, meaning teams see them as the team that is most likely to surprise everyone they face. They're not gonna count out playoffs Omega. And to make the series even more unpredictable, Echo and Omega have yet to face off each other in the Week 6 patch meta environment. The patch that shook up the meta by empowering tank heroes and heroes that can deal with the empowered tank meta shift. The starting 5 of Echo PH is a dangerous squad, something Omega is well familiar with, as 3mar TZ on Glue, Kurt TZ on Kagura, Yaoi on Cho, and Carl TZ as Lancelot have recorded MVP performances in their 4 games against Omega with a combined KDA of 19, 4, and 39. What? Early on in the season, Echo created a clear identity for themselves that we the casters sometimes dubbed as Showtime, but more commonly as Echo Express. During their undefeated streak from weeks 1 to 3, Echo had an average game win time of 15 minutes and 12 seconds, the fastest in the league at that time. The Echo Express has Echo play around their jungler Carl TZ, trying to take control of the game early or after a mid-game power spike, usually around 6 to 8 minutes. Echo can lose the first 3 turtles, but they cover their lanes well and keep games close in this scenario, probably down to them usually running lineups that have 2 fighters in the side lanes, with a fighter in the gold lane usually being Yuzhong or Paquito. Once Echo get their momentum and start making highlight after highlight, that is the Echo Express. Take control of the game and the map before the First Lord, and make the First Lord push an incredibly punishing one. In the early game, or first 5 to 7 minutes, there are a few things to look out for in the Echo playstyle. You usually find Yaoi trying to protect Carl Tazzy by playing defensively, staying close enough to Carl while getting info, or by playing aggressively with non-stop disruption of the enemy jungler that forces the enemies to play defensively. Usually he'll be with Curtizi in this scenario, their mid laner. 3 Martezi may sometimes aggressively rotate from the XP lane either by invading the nearest buff or with rotations to the mid lane to help during skirmishes. If Benecutie is on a fighter in the gold lane, he may invade the nearest enemy buff with Yaoi and or Curtizi, sometimes Carlteezy, really depends. They're also willing to give up turtles as long as they can trade with pick-off kills or objectives elsewhere in the map. Now once the mid-game power spikes hit at around 7 minutes or so, Echo may look to play more aggressively around Carlteezy, Yaoi, and Curtizy's rotations to force a fight that will allow them to build a good lead heading into the last turtle or first lord spawn of the game. Side laners 3 Martezi and Benecutie will be rotating even more, usually invading enemy buffs with Yaoi and Curtizy. And overall, Echo will really just look to win a fight, push towers, and deplete the enemy jungle for total control until they can end the game. Now if an Echo game reaches the late game and the opponent has a chance to turn it around, Echo will look to play safe, looking for surprise initiations and pickoffs by Yaoi while easily managing the map if they're on a double fighter side lane hero lineup. Now if Echo are playing from behind at this point, say the opponent has the lead, they will play defensive and they can turn games around from this position as Curtizy is usually playing long-range mages such as Pharsa and Eve, or has a high burst mage such as Kagura that will really play well with Yaoi's pick-off focused tank hero. The opposite of the Echo Express is a playstyle we call Omega timers. Now this isn't just about Omega finishing the game in the 18th minute or past the 18th minute mark, something that they have done 7 times this season, but it's really more about playing around Kelra, sometimes Ryzen or Etamax if they're playing a hero that scales well into the late game, playing around their heroes' timers and finding leads or positions to turn their game around with those power spikes. Omega love their comfort picks and shine really well with them. If Etamax gets his Selena and has a strong pick-off combo with Chaknu, Omega can end the game fast with just those two. Oh, Omega lost most of the game and have to play a good amount of it in a defensive position from their base? Well, as long as they have their strong late game heroes, they will most likely find a way to turn it around and surprise their opponents from out of nowhere. Special mention to Etamax's Savior and Kelra's Savage Beatrix. In the early game, Smart Omega looked to secure turtles as much as possible while trying to get pick-off kills with Chaknu and Etamax. Smart Omega will also do their best to assist Kelra in lane and make sure that he isn't too far behind in gold once the turret energy shields drop at 5 minutes. In the mid game, if Kelra is behind on farm, Omega will look to play defensive and let him catch up. Although Omega does have a reputation of just suddenly calling for a fight when they're behind and somehow still being able to win it or get something great out of it. That's why a lot of teams really have their defenses up when they're up against Omega. But if Kelra has his first 2 damage items and the game is close, oh, expect Smart Omega to want to fight. Smart Omega will continue trying to get pickoffs with Chaknu and Etamax, but Echo has to be careful not to let Renjo, Smart Omega's XP laner, do his thing. He won't always join Smart Omega in fights, but he will look to apply map pressure elsewhere. If Echo aren't careful, Renjo will be able to take towers and making it hard for Echo to control the map even if Smart Omega are behind. And in the late game, this is where Smart Omega absolutely shines. Seriously, a lot of the high drama, high tension, long game moments come courtesy of Omega or an Omega series. Doesn't always mean they're gonna be getting the win from those situations, but it's just so good, it's just so riveting and so exciting. Try to look for a couple of their games. I'll try to link some here or just show you on screen right now some games that you can watch. Look for those and you're gonna find out what I'm talking about. I will try to run down the drafting styles really quickly, so keep a close listen and keep a close eye on your screen right now. Let's go! In the first banning phase, Echo will look to ban the top heroes, usually junglers in the current meta, and reserve 1 ban for enemy comfort. If they can target ban 1 player in the enemy team, they will do it. as much as possible, ban heroes that can give Echo a hard time with securing their favored early game lead. That's what they want to do. Heroes banned by Echo here are heroes such as Selena, Fanny, Karina, Valentina, Ling, Lilia, and Franco, just to name a few. Just because I named a few heroes right now doesn't mean those are the only ones there, but these are the ones just to give you an idea of what they like to ban out, okay? For Omega, the game plan is simple. Ban away the enemy comfort picks. If they're against a team with a really good Selena user, they will ban it on the red side. They will also respect ban Beatrix against teams who have her as a comfort pick. Phoveus, Beatrix, Karina, Valentina, Selena, Eve, Fanny, and Ling are the bans to watch out for here. On the first picking phase, Echo usually looks to secure comfort heroes for 3 Martizi, Carl TZ, and Yaoi. Kurt TZ will most likely get the first phase pick if Eve or Farsa are open. And remember that Yu Zhong and Paquito are what I would like to call quote-unquote anchor picks for Echo, meaning they can pick these heroes up in the first phase to give them room to flex the picks, since Paquito can be played as either gold or jungle, and Yu Zhong can either be played XP or gold for Echo. So in terms of the picks to watch here, we're looking at Paquito, Esmeralda, Cho, Lancelot, Yu Zhong, and Eve. Ryzen's picks are usually secured by Omega in the first phase, while Itomax, Renjo, and Chaknu's picks get swapped around in priority order. Lately, Dairoth has become a go-to comfort pick for Renjo in the first phase, but he will still pick Esmeralda if not against a Dairoth. Itomax priority picks are Selena, Kagura, Eve, Farsa, Xavier, and Lilia. Kelra's hero can get picked in the first phase, but only if it is a Beatrix and maybe Popol and Koopa depending on who they're up against. Ling, Paquito, Dairoth, Esme, Cho, Selena, and Baksha are some of the picks to watch out here for Omega. In the second banning phase, Omega will just look to ban heroes and give Omega problems in the late game, while also looking to remove the best possible options remaining for the opponent's last picks. Pretty standard for all the teams here in MPL PH. On the other hand, Echo like to take away strong sustain heroes in the second phase, either heroes such as Toms and Uranus or Angela and Matilda. They also just try to remove the obvious best possible options for the enemy roles that still need filling. In terms of the last picks, Echo usually secures Benny Cutie and Kurt TZ's heroes here, but Echo has had the tendency of securing quote-unquote unique picks and strats with their last picks. Natalia, Lunox, Veil, Savior, Ruby, and Yu Zhong are just some of the heroes to watch out for. Oh, and let's see if Echo's gonna try bringing out the Kajita Johnson combo again in the playoffs. Maybe Onyx will do it, but I think Echo might. Maybe, we'll see. As for Smart Omega, Kelra, Chaknu, and Renjo are the players who usually don't have their picks locked in by the second phase. Round out the draft plus get Kelra's hero. Omega like to draft and play around Kelra's pick. That is the recipe for Omega in the last phase, or the second phase of the draft. And there you have it, scouting report filed and completed. Sending it to you. Comment down below your thoughts on this series, your own analysis, your own insights, and which team you're rooting for in Omega versus Echo. Comment it down below, and also don't forget to like the video if you liked it, share the video too if you want to share it to your friends, and at the same time, a subscribe will really help me go a long way in terms of building this channel into bigger and far greater heights. Don't forget, there are 2 more parts to this scouting report series. In the next one, we're going to be talking about Next Play Evos and Onyx PH for their series, or opening series, in the playoffs. Alright, thank you for taking the time to watch this. My name is Renmar Santa Cruz, also known as Reptar, analyst for MPL Philippines. See you on the next one. Bye!